Most guys generally want the same physique. They want to have a physique that is aesthetic. You know, the one that when you take your top off, someone instantly knows that you go to the gym, that you look after yourself. Not one that looks too lean, not one that looks like a bodybuilder type, just someone who takes care of himself. And one of the things that stops many guys from achieving that physique is they see signs of progress, face gets a bit leaner, maybe feel a little bit upper stomach leaner, but that lower belly fat, you know, the one that sits underneath your belly button and round about your love handles when you pinch your side and your back, no matter what you do, it just does not seem to go. And in this video, I want to explain exactly, number one, why that is happening, and number two, how you can actually solve it to get that V-taper physique where the waist is in and you have that aesthetic build that people take notice of. People realise that you're someone who's fit, healthy, and takes care of himself. Now, before we dive into it, if you've never seen me before, my name is Mark, and I've been a coach for the last 5 years. I've been into fitness pretty much all my life. I have been the guy that I'm describing inside this video that no matter what he did, could not get rid of that tire ring around his waist. I've also been the guy that was pretty down about it, felt a lot of lack of confidence, but most importantly, I've been the guy that found the system on how to solve it, and I have coached and helped hundreds, maybe even thousands at this point, of other guys do the same thing and become proud, confident, happy with how they look. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it inside this video. Reason number one why you can't lose that lower belly fat is that you're not staying within your calorie deficit for long enough. The issue many guys face is that they pick a diet, they stick to it for maybe a month, maybe just a little bit over, and then they stop. They see the early signs of progress, the face gets leaner, the t-shirts fit a little bit better, the energy improves a little bit, and they settle at that. They think that they can start to take the foot off the gas and slip up on a couple of days, or in many cases with the guys that I work with, life just takes over. Busy career, busy family, busy work, loads of decisions to make, and the deficit starts to get less and less. They start to slip up on the diet. And that cycle is what gets guys frustrated, and it's why they never manage to crack the code of getting rid of that tire ring, getting rid of that lower belly fat. Now, the reality is the lower belly fat is the last area that you guys will start to see it drop off from. You're not going to have the waist come in before any other area of your body. It is just where males are predisposed where they store their body fat for 99.999% of the population. Now, when it comes to getting rid of the tire ring, consistency of the deficit always trumps the intensity of the deficit. Going on crash diets of 1200 calories is not going to do anything for you, and I'm going to cover that in point number two, but it's about being in that deficit for long enough. Now remember, when it comes to losing fat, fat loss is not linear. You will have weeks where it won't go to plan. You'll have weeks where you'll struggle. But the most important thing is staying within that deficit until you reach the point where the waist is no longer. The love handles and the lower belly fat is completely gone. The unfortunate reality for many people is that they just need to diet longer than they think that they actually need to. You can get pretty lean in 12 weeks. We've got some insane transformations with guys in 10 weeks, which I'll flash up somewhere on screen. But if you want to truly get rid of that lower belly fat and keep it off, you are going to need to extend the diet for, maybe 5-6 months, sometimes even longer, depending where your starting point is. So if I can say, one of the biggest things is just stay in the deficit for longer. Reason number two is you are insulin resistant. Your body is not partitioning the nutrients from the foods that you are consuming. And there's many different reasons as to why this is. The main three are sedentary lifestyle, excess body fat already being there, and not enough muscle. Now, the last point is what often slips up with many people, because they think that losing the belly fat is just about the diet. Yes, it is the biggest portion, but it's not the only portion. It's not the only cog that's in the machine. Now, being insulin resistant or having poor insulin sensitivity can make managing hunger harder. Cravings can become difficult to deal with, so it's really important that in order to achieve number one, stay in the deficit for longer, you get this on point. Now, it's actually very easy to improve your insulin sensitivity. Number one is the easiest one, is move more. Prioritize steps. Walking is one of the biggest and best ways to improve the way that your body partitions nutrients. Basically what that means is when you consume a food, insulin is released, it picks up the nutrients from the foods that you're consuming, and it starts to deposit around the body. So into your actual living organs, into fat cells. So the more fat cells you've got, the more are driven into there. Also into muscle too. which is why it's important to have muscle and train. But walking's going to help with that because it's going to improve your sensitivity to the foods and make it easier for you to actually consume a decent amount and utilize the foods properly. Now, number 2 is lift more. Get into the gym, lift some weights, do some exercise, build some muscle. The more muscular someone is, the more muscle that person holds, the more insulin sensitive they are going to be, which is why you'll see so many of my clients that are able to eat 3,500 calories and not gain any body fat because they've done an effective diet where they've stayed in a diet for long enough, reversed out, built some muscle, and now can eat more calories without gaining any stubborn belly fat. So having muscle is a huge element here too. So resistance train. Hit the gym 3 times a week for 45 minutes. Progressively lift harder. Test yourself in the gym. That is all it takes. Reason number 3 is you're trying to optimize for weight loss instead of fat loss. Fat loss is a component of weight loss, but all you are doing is looking at the scales and you're letting that determine whether it's a success or whether it's a failure. And because of that, when you have maybe a week where the scale weight doesn't quite move the way that you want it to, you are throwing the towel in and you're optimizing for what the scales say instead of how you look, how you feel, how clothes are fitting, how you're performing, your energy, and all those variables that actually matter. And because you guys are trying to optimize for the weight loss, all that you do is crash diets, fad diets like keto, carnivore, whatever mad stuff is going about now, or slash calories super aggressive. Let this be known, if you're a man watching this, you should not be eating 1,200 calories. If you are asking for poor insulin sensitivity, and that belly fat, lower stubborn belly fat, ain't budging a bit. So a sustained calorie deficit that optimizes for consistent fat loss instead of quick weight loss. Why do you think every time you slash your calories super aggressively, you gain all of the weight back on and you gain maybe a couple pounds, a couple kilo? That's exactly why. That's why you're making loads of effort, but you still look soft. You are fitting into t-shirts that are like baggy on you. You know, you're a little bit leaner, but you're not looking the way that you want to look. That is exactly why. Now, the way you do this is by protecting the muscle that you already have. So number 1, eating the right amount of protein. Aim for 0.8 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. That's all you need. Number 2, resistance train. Get strong, test yourself inside the gym. And number 3 is a sensible calorie deficit. Multiply your weight in pounds by between 11 to 13 to be moderate. That is your fat loss calories. Begin at that, be consistent with that, and when you see there's slight plateaus, deduct 100 or 200 calories or move a little bit more. That is the simple way you are going to lose this lower stubborn belly fat, improve your insulin sensitivity, and get the result that you want. Now, most men don't need the new secret. They don't need the best diet plan. They don't need the best training plan. They need the consistent application of the foundations. That is how all of our clients achieve the results that they achieve in record times, to be honest, super quick, because we get so good at doing the basic things, which is also why they get such good results, because there is no mad secret. It's actually very easy to achieve this. If you're struggling with it, I get it. Many guys are struggling out there to do it. You know, sometimes it can be difficult to do the basics when you don't know fully what the basics are. Apply what I've said in this video, but if you want like the answers that are specific for you, what I'll do is I'll leave a link down below. Click on the link, see if there's a time that works for you. We can sit down and have a conversation about it. But when you apply these basics, you'll start to see that stubborn lower belly fat and the love handles completely go. Hopefully you found this helpful. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment if you want to see anything else, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more content like this.